Scarlet silk clung to Ava's curves like a second skin, shimmering under the opulent chandeliers of the penthouse gala. Her smile was practiced perfection, a mask for the turmoil churning within. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration. Her husband, David, receiving the prestigious Tech Innovator Award. Instead, it felt like a cruel performance. David's hand grazed hers, his touch as cold and distant as the diamond on his finger. He barely acknowledged her. His eyes locked on a brunette across the room, a woman whose laughter echoed like a shard of glass in Ava's heart. Sarah. The name slithered through Ava's mind, a poisonous serpent coiling around a secret she desperately tried to bury. Months of whispered rumors, stolen glances, late nights at the office. It all culminated in this sickening display. Ava excused herself, the weight of the diamond necklace on her chest mirroring the leaden weight in her stomach. She retreated to the deserted balcony, the cityscape glittering coldly beneath a starless night. Tears welled up, blurring the lights into a kaleidoscope of betrayal. Suddenly, a voice startled her. A man, tall and shadowed, leaned against the railing, his gaze fixed on the city. "Quite the view," he remarked, his voice a low rumble. Ava wiped her tears, suspicion battling with a strange sense of intrigue. "It is," she conceded, her voice tight. The man introduced himself as Liam, a reporter for a rival tech publication. He spoke about David with a detached cynicism, subtly hinting at rumors swirling around the company's latest project. Rumors Ava had chosen to ignore, clinging to a shred of hope for her marriage. Liam's words ignited a spark of defiance within her. Maybe revenge wasn't just about emotional catharsis. Maybe it could be a weapon. Over the following weeks, Ava and Liam met in secret. He fed her details about David's alleged embezzlement scheme, a project that reeked of insider trading and environmental negligence. The more Ava learned, the more her anger simmered, morphing into a steely resolve. She started late nights at her own tech firm, using her exceptional coding skills to dig deeper. Fueled by betrayal and a thirst for justice, she cracked David's heavily encrypted files, unearthing a mountain of incriminating evidence. The project, codenamed Phoenix, was a sham, a supposed energy-efficient technology that masked a hidden program designed to exploit a critical security flaw in the city's power grid. The evidence was explosive, enough to ruin David's reputation and career. Yet, a nagging doubt gnawed at Ava. Exposing David publicly would be a hollow victory. She craved something more. She wanted him to witness his empire crumble, to feel the sting of his own deceit. Liam, sensing her hesitation, offered a solution. He knew someone, a rival tech giant with a vested interest in seeing David brought down. This someone could leverage the evidence anonymously, ensuring David's downfall would appear to be an unfortunate accident. Ava considered it. Public humiliation wouldn't heal the wounds, but it would be a twisted form of justice. The thought of Sarah watching David's world implode was a bitter pill, but undeniably tempting. A week later, Ava found a discreet package on her doorstep. Inside, a sleek burner phone with a single pre-programmed number. The deal was sealed. A tremor of apprehension ran through her, but the image of Sarah's smug smile fueled her resolve. The night of the gala arrived once more. Ava, dressed in a different shade of scarlet silk, met David's gaze across the room. This time, there was a flicker of something in his eyes. Guilt, maybe, or fear. The award ceremony began. David's acceptance speech a tapestry of empty promises and hollow bravado. Mid-speech, the lights flickered, then plunged the room into darkness. Panic erupted as screams pierced the air. Ava's heart hammered in her chest. The blackout wasn't part of the plan. Had Liam underestimated the project's true nature? Or had he lied, using her as a pawn in a bigger game? Suddenly, emergency lights flickered on, revealing chaos and pandemonium. An announcement crackled over the speakers. The city's power grid was under attack, a critical security flaw having been exploited. Panic escalated into a frantic stampede. Ava found David, frozen and pale. Sarah was nowhere to be seen. In that moment, a horrifying realization dawned on Ava. Liam had double-crossed her. The evidence she provided wasn't used to expose David's embezzlement, but to trigger a citywide blackout using the Phoenix program itself. A cold dread gripped her. Public humiliation was the least of David's worries now. He was implicated in a major cyber attack, potentially responsible for widespread chaos and damage. Guilt gnawed at Ava like a ravenous beast. The elegant gala venue, once a symbol of her gilded life, now felt like a tomb. David, his face drained of color, was being escorted away by security personnel. Sarah, her face etched with confusion, was nowhere to be seen. Ava stumbled out of the building, the city skyline marred by flickering emergency lights. The air crackled with a sense of impending disaster. Liam's burner phone sat heavy in her pocket, a scorching reminder of her naivete and his treachery. She needed to warn someone, anyone. But who could she trust? The authorities would likely suspect her involvement. The tech giant, the anonymous villain in this twisted plot, was an unknown entity. A memory surfaced. A conversation with Liam about a disgruntled whistleblower within David's company. A woman named Chloe who had been sidelined for questioning the ethics of Project Phoenix. It was a long shot, but Ava decided it was her only hope. Desperate, she used the burner phone to send an anonymous message to Chloe, detailing the attack, the stolen evidence, and the potential for further devastation. It was a fragile thread, but it was all she had. The city descended into chaos. News reports blared about the unprecedented cyber attack, businesses shutting down, and essential services crippled. Ava, cloaked in a shroud of self-loathing, watched the city unraveling from her apartment window. Suddenly, a knock on the door jolted her. Her heart pounded in her chest. It could be the police, Sarah seeking answers, or even David, his mask of arrogance shattered, stealing herself. She opened the door. Ava flung open the door, prepared to face the consequences. But on the other side stood not the police, nor Sarah, but a young woman with determined eyes. It was Chloe, the whistleblower. Ava, she asked, a hint of suspicion in her voice. It was you, wasn't it? The message, the evidence. Ava hesitated, the weight of her actions pressing down on her. Shame battled with a flicker of desperate hope. It wasn't meant to be like this, she finally confessed, and in a ragged breath, poured out everything. Her discovery of David's treachery, Liam's manipulation, and the horrifying realization of the cyber attack. Chloe listened intently, her face betraying a mix of disbelief and grim understanding. We can fix this, she declared, her voice surprisingly steady. But we don't have much time. Ava's eyes widened. Fix it? How? Chloe explained that she, along with a small team of ethical hackers, had been piecing together the puzzle of Project Phoenix based on Ava's initial information. With the knowledge of the stolen evidence, they could potentially counter the attack, isolate the infected systems, and minimize the damage. Ava felt a spark of hope flicker within her. Maybe, just maybe, she could help undo some of the damage she'd caused. Together, they devised a plan. Chloe would access the company's network remotely, using Ava's insider knowledge to navigate the firewalls. Ava, under Chloe's guidance, would utilize her own coding skills to deploy a counter-program, a digital firewall to contain the damage. It was a risky gamble, a desperate race against time. Every minute wasted meant more disruption, more potential harm. The night blurred into a frantic dance of code, adrenaline coursing through Ava's veins. Exhaustion gnawed at her, but the determination to atone kept her going. Finally, with a triumphant cry, Chloe announced a breakthrough. They'd managed to isolate the infected systems and deploy the counter-program. The damage was contained, but the city's infrastructure was still vulnerable. The city emerged from the cyber siege shaken but intact. News reports buzzed with speculation about the anonymous heroes who had thwarted a potential catastrophe. Chloe, working from the shadows, became a digital guardian angel, a symbol of resistance against the darker forces within the tech world. Ava, however, remained a ghost in the machine. The authorities, still hunting for the perpetrator, had no leads. She lived in a self-imposed exile, haunted by the ghosts of her past actions. The once vibrant scarlet silk dresses now hung limply in her closet, a constant reminder of the life she'd shattered. One morning, a discreet package arrived on her doorstep. Inside was a simple note from Chloe, thanking her for her courage and offering a new beginning. Attached was a job offer, a position at Clo's fledgling cybersecurity firm dedicated to ethical hacking and protecting vulnerable systems from exploitation. Tears welled up in Ava's eyes. Redemption wouldn't be easy, but it was an opportunity. She could still use her skills, not for destruction, but for defense. The path ahead wouldn't erase the past, but it offered a chance to rewrite her own narrative, one line of code at a time. Ava accepted the offer, a tiny seed of hope taking root within her. Facing David, Sarah, and the authorities remained a daunting prospect, but the city, slowly healing from the cyber attack, was a testament to the power of second chances. As she stepped out into the sunlight, the vibrant hues of the city felt a little brighter, a reflection of the tentative hope blooming within her. The betrayal had ignited a firestorm, but from the ashes, Ava had found a new purpose. Revenge had led her down a dark path, but it had also opened her eyes to the bigger picture. Now, with Chloe as her ally, she would fight not out of vengeance, but for a safer, more secure digital future. The story of her fall would forever be a cautionary tale, but it would also be a testament to the human capacity for redemption, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, a single spark of courage can ignite a brighter dawn. The knock on the door made Ava jump. It was too early for Chloe, and the uncertainty gnawed at her. With a deep breath, she opened the door to find not Chloe, but Sarah, her face etched with a mixture of anger and desperation. "Ava," Sarah blurted out, her voice trembling. "David, he's missing. The police think he was involved in the cyber attack, but they can't find him anywhere." Ava's heart hammered against her ribs. "David missing?" A surge of conflicting emotions washed over her. Relief, a flicker of fear, and a cold undercurrent of suspicion. Could this be another ploy, another twist in their twisted story? Sarah pressed on, oblivious to Ava's internal turmoil. "He left a note," she confessed, her voice breaking. "Addressed to you. He said you were the only one who could understand." Ava stared at Sarah, the weight of the past crashing down on her. The note, a physical manifestation of her tangled web of deceit, hung heavy in the air. Did it hold a confession, a plea for help, or another layer of manipulation? Seeing Ava's hesitation, Sarah reached into her purse and pulled out a crumpled envelope. With trembling hands, Ava took it, the weight of the paper mirroring the weight of her decision. As she unfolded the note, the elegant script on the expensive stationery mocked her. David's words, filled with a desperate plea for forgiveness and a veiled threat, confirmed her worst suspicions. He knew she was involved, and he was using Sarah as leverage, a pawn in his own twisted game. A wave of nausea washed over Ava, the desire for revenge, the thirst for destruction. It had all backfired spectacularly. David was a victim of his own greed, but Ava couldn't deny her own role in the chaos. Ava reread David's note, the words blurring with unshed tears. The bitterness of his betrayal was now laced with a sickening fear. He wouldn't hesitate to use her, expose her role, and drag her down with him. Sarah, oblivious to the undercurrent swirling between Ava and David, stood waiting, her eyes filled with a desperate hope. A cold logic settled in Ava's mind. Her actions had unleashed a storm, and now she had a choice. Let it consume everyone, or try to steer a path through the wreckage. The guilt of harming Sarah, the innocent catalyst in their tangled relationship, was a stark revelation. Taking a deep breath, Ava addressed Sarah. "He wants me to help him evade capture," she admitted, her voice heavy with regret. Sarah's eyes widened in shock. "Why would you help him?" "Because," Ava replied, her voice gaining strength. "If I don't, he'll drag you down with him. He'll manipulate the story, frame you as an accomplice. You deserve better than that." Sarah digested this, the truth sinking in. Her image, her life, all pawns in David's desperate gamble. A flicker of gratitude shone in her eyes, but it was mixed with trepidation. "So what do you propose?" Sarah asked. Ava met her gaze, a newfound resolve firming in her voice. "We go to the authorities. We tell them everything. My discovery, Liam's role, David's embezzlement, and the stolen evidence. It's the only way to protect yourself and clear my name." The path ahead wouldn't be easy. Facing the authorities, the potential for jail time, these were daunting realities. But the alternative, a future dictated by David's manipulation, was even more unbearable. Sarah, After a long moment of contemplation, nodded her head. Together, they devised a plan. Ava would anonymously contact the authorities, providing a detailed account of David's actions and the evidence in her possession. She wouldn't implicate Chloe, focusing on David's exploitation of the Phoenix program. The night after their meeting, Ava sat alone with her computer, her finger hovering over the send button. Fear coiled around her, but it was overshadowed by a newfound sense of purpose. She had started this web of deceit, blinded by rage. Now, she was taking the first step to unravel it, however messy the consequences. With a deep breath, she hit send, a single message triggering a chain reaction of events. It was a gamble, a desperate attempt to regain control of a situation that had spiraled out of control. The outcome remained uncertain, but for the first time since the night of the gala, Ava felt a flicker of hope, the hope for a future where her actions, fueled by honesty and courage, could pave the way for a genuine redemption. News of David's arrest spread like wildfire. The authorities, armed with Ava's anonymous tip and the incriminating evidence, had apprehended him within the city limits. The media frenzy was relentless, painting David as a greedy CEO who orchestrated a cyber attack to cover his own wrongdoings. Ava and Sarah, choosing to remain anonymous, watched the news unfold from a safe distance. A sense of relief washed over Ava, a feeling of finally stepping out of the shadows. Yet, the joy was laced with a profound sense of loss. The life she had built, the luxurious apartment, the extravagant lifestyle, all gone. In their place, a small, rented room became their sanctuary. Sarah, resolute in moving forward, threw herself into her work, finding solace in helping others who had been victims of corporate misconduct. Ava, haunted by the ghosts of her past, struggled to find her footing. The guilt, though diminished, remained a constant companion. She volunteered at a local tech center, using her coding skills to help underprivileged kids. The work was challenging, but it offered a sense of purpose, a way to atone for her past mistakes. One afternoon, while helping a young girl navigate coding basics, Ava felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to see Chloe, a warm smile on her face. Relief flooded Ava, followed by a wave of apprehension. "I know it was you," Chloe said, her voice gentle. "The tip, the authorities. You did the right thing." Ava, speechless for a moment, finally managed a choked reply. "How?" "We traced the anonymous message back to a burner phone you used once," Chloe explained. "But that doesn't matter. What matters is the impact. You helped expose a crime and prevented further damage." Ava couldn't meet Chloe's gaze. The shame of her actions still burned bright. "But I almost caused so much more harm." "And Sarah's grateful," Chloe interrupted. "You saved her from becoming another victim in David's game." Ava looked down at her hands, still trembling slightly. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." "No," Chloe said firmly. "But everyone deserves a chance to learn from their mistakes and rebuild their lives. That's what we're all trying to do here, aren't we?" Ava's eyes welled up. In Chloe's words, she found a flicker of hope, a possibility of redemption beyond just penance. Perhaps, she thought, she could use her skills not just to atone, but to build something new, something that would truly make a difference. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. The scars of betrayal, the weight of her choices, would forever be a part of her story. But with Chloe by her side, and a newfound determination burning within, Ava knew she was finally ready to step out of the shadows and write a new chapter. A chapter of redemption, purpose, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to build something good from the ashes of her broken past. Years passed, a slow but steady climb towards a new normal. Ava, no longer a ghost in the machine, had become a beacon of ethical hacking. Alongside Chloe's growing cybersecurity firm, they specialized in protecting vulnerable systems from exploitation. Their most recent project, dubbed Phoenix Rising, was a testament to Ava's journey. It was a comprehensive software shield, designed to detect and counter cyberattacks in real time. The name, a bittersweet echo of the past, served as a constant reminder of the darkness overcome and the resilience of the human spirit. The launch of Phoenix Rising was a success. The firm garnered recognition for its innovative approach, and Ava, once a shrouded figure, emerged as a leading voice in cybersecurity. Interviews, conferences, and workshops became part of her new reality, a far cry from the secluded guilt she once harbored. One evening, at a cybersecurity forum, Ava found herself addressing a packed auditorium. As she spoke about the importance of ethical hacking and responsible technological development, a familiar face appeared in the front row. Sarah. Their eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. Sarah offered a small, knowing smile, a world away from the woman desperate for answers years ago. Ava, her heart brimming with a mix of emotions, returned the smile, a silent thank you for the path they had walked together. Later that evening, Sarah approached Ava backstage. "You did good," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "David got the punishment he deserved, and you became something remarkable." Ava could only nod, grateful for Sarah's acceptance. They stood for a moment, two women bound by a shared past, yet forging their own futures. As Sarah left, Ava spotted Liam across the room, his face a mask of anger and simmering resentment. He approached her, but before he could speak, Ava held up a hand. "Your manipulations had consequences," she said, her voice firm, "but so did mine. Let's both learn from them." Liam scoffed, but a flicker of something, perhaps regret, crossed his face for a fleeting moment. He turned and walked away, leaving Ava with a sense of closure. The past would forever be a part of her story, a lesson etched in experience. But as Ava stood bathed in the applause of the auditorium, she knew it wouldn't define her. She was no longer the vengeful wife consumed by betrayal. She was Ava, a cybersecurity expert dedicated to creating a safer digital future, one line of code at a time. The scars remained, a reminder of the darkness she had traversed. But with each sunrise, the light of redemption grew stronger, illuminating the path ahead. The journey of vengeance had led her astray, but the quest for redemption had brought her home. Home to a life of purpose, a community of allies, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to write a legacy of positive impact.